Hi there, this is Candy Cane Jane. I am continuing my Armada Watch Back project, wherein I am adding commentary to old Armada games that are currently uncommented. Today we are going to be looking at the SkOnett match Armada versus Smasher89 Peach Puff today. Today I am joined by PeachIceTea, aka Mike, aka Mr. Hawk, aka Cena. How you doing, Cena?
I'm doing good. How about you, Jane?
I am doing alright. I'm ready to get into this. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, right off the bat, we got Peach Puff. How you feel about this matchup?
So, a couple of things going right into it. Peach Puff, a lot of neutral. Both characters are super floaty. So, very curious to kind of see how Armada approaches it. You know, I think in the current age, Armada tend to be pretty negative on this matchup. So, this is prior to that kind of switch of mentality going to Fox. And kind of because of that, you know, in the current age, we don't really see a lot of Peach Puff. Like, Lod maybe is starting around 2018.
Yeah, and even Polish, extremely well known for, like, how good his play, or their play is versus Puff, switched to Fox.
Yep.
So, less and less.
A lot of doomers about the matchup for sure. But I do think that it's relatively doable, regardless of how many kind of like pitfalls there are you have to watch out for. And you know, we're here to kind of see that firsthand from Armada because you know, as I said, there isn't really a lot of footage out there. This is kind of the foundational building blocks of what's to come and like how kind of Watt approaches that matchup later down the line.
Yeah.
And yeah, the big thing I'll probably say right off the bat is that turnips are your best friend. If you thought turnips were important against Marth, it's 50 times more important against Puff because it's impossible to get through that backer wall.
And we're seeing that right now. Anytime like Armada pushes the Puff away, he's just like absolutely pelting. Like especially these full hop near the lip of stage.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen these games before, and Armada doesn't do those as much on other stages, but, like, here in Battlefield, like, this Puff just keeps drifting into turnips, and Armada's not scared to just keep punishing you in the exact same way over and over again.
Definitely. His, you know, if it works, there's no reason to not do it again. At the end of the day, I think you definitely mentioned it. The Puff is drifting in a lot of the time. You know, if you compared it kind of to a modern day, approach to Peach Puff, the Puffs tend to really focus on fade back air, and I know that he's Smasher89 in particular is like doing a lot of like, let's say, just fade back double back air, and Armada's capitalizing on it very well. Because of that, he's able to also play super aggressive and get a lot more success out of it.
Misrest. Here's the punish. Here's the punish.
What do we see? Oh, he went for the smash throw up there. All right, he didn't go for the smash. He went for the tilt throw. Even a tilt throw on Battlefield isn't going to like be low enough to go through the top platform.
Yeah.
There is a very small section between the two platforms where you can do a smash throw or tilt throw up, and it will land on Battlefield. But it's very tiny, and
it's very tiny. It's still very funny what actually happened, which is Armada charged down smash, and the Puff didn't shield. The Puff just ran to the right.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Really good
CC
damage.
That bear at a high percent too.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, Armada just kind of got to keep coming in with, like, kind of neutral reversals. The Puff was drifting in a lot, as we said before. I don't know. Do you want to talk about that game before we head on to the next, or would you like to get into the next game?
I honestly don't think there was too much to talk about in that game, mainly because, as you kind of said, the Puff really just drifted in. I mean, it was a 3-suck by Armada, and, you know, if Smasher89 were to maybe play it a little bit more slowly, I think they'd have a lot more success. I mean, let's see if they make that adaptation going into the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got an amazing thing here. We've got a now illegal stage. And Armada immediately running away to pluck turnips at the very top. Shoutouts to Pink Shinobi, by the way, for pioneering this style of play.
Oh man, the only thing that Pink Shinobi or Armada wasn't the innovator on was
truly
circle camping on the DK stage.
Yes. Armada actually does not continue to circle camp. He really starts to just run in at people.
Yeah, and you know, I think this is being a little bit more of an old school style and a matchup that's a little underdeveloped. You know, we're seeing Armada like go in a lot, and I think one of the things Peach is a character you're gonna want to always be about. Oh, Stitch Face and the taunt. Let's see if we can get something cool out of that. But Peach is very risk reward focused, and no matter how much risk you take against Puff, the reward is very unoften going to be like a kill, like you could against Fox.
God, so, look at how patient Armada is with this Stitch, always waiting to land first. That does combo, by the way.
Yeah. I think he saw it there.
Yeah, I don't think that he's ever hit a Puff at 0 with Stitch Face until that very moment. Armada's only been playing for 2 years at this point. Without, like, Uncle Punch, without Slippy, without a Puff player living with him.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay, he does die off the back here.
Yeah.
That was a 160 plus. This stage is huge. This gives me Dreamland vibes.
Yeah, this stage is insanely large. Oh, man. Ooh, look at those reversals. Armada's just ready for those. Okay.
Let's see what he does. Okay, he goes for the down throw.
A lot of fade-in back airs just working out for Armada in a way that they would not nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to be going through this now because one set that we know that we have to look forward to is how Armada plays Peach against Mango's Puff at Genesis.
Yeah. Definitely. And again, like, all of these like older styles of Puffs, I think really, in my opinion, like the real bad part about Peach Puff is how far back Puff can space with the retreating bears. I personally don't think it's as bad of a matchup if the Puff isn't like spamming retreating bear and playing super defensively the entire time.
Yeah.
He'd be even a little bit closer to even. So with that in mind and the way the Puff is playing, you know, it's really feeding into Armada's kind of game plan of playing super aggressive. Oh my god! That is new age tech that doesn't happen in 2009.
No, that's old age tech that doesn't happen in 2023.
But, oh my god, that is...
Oh my god. You see, there are some banger moments in these old sets. I love looking through them for that and that alone.
It's crazy to me.
Oh my god. I was assuming we're going straight into the next one. No issues?
Yeah, I feel like we covered everything pretty well in the last one already.
Yeah. Now, this match is really interesting because I feel like this is the first time that, like, Smasher89 seems to have any legitimate control over his drift and the way that he is using back airs.
Yeah, definitely. He's moving between that, like, he's switching it up. Sometimes he'll do the back air, land in front to take space, or he'll switch it up and go back air plus retreating back air to go back to where he was before and control center. I mean, it really feels like he's actually playing the matchup in this game.
Yeah.
Whereas in the previous ones, he was just kind of... Him and Armada both were just kind of running in.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to say that Armada's, like, turnip play is very good. Like, even for a modern standard. Like, this is, like, definitely not top 100 Peach turnip play, but the way that he is placing his turnips, like, look at that. That was catching the typical, like, fade back from Puff.
Yep. In that situation, the Puff has to adapt and just go down instead. But even then, like, I mean, the cognizance to kind of just know, hey, here's his patterns is it's pretty advanced, especially for someone only playing for like 2 years.
Yeah. Ooh, Nair, attempted Nair F smash. Now, another thing to note, because we've been talking about how Armada doesn't face off against many Puffs. This Puff would not be facing off against many Peaches, especially of, like, Armada's caliber. And we are talking a lot about, like, oh, well, you know, this wouldn't work against, like, a modern Puff, or that wouldn't work against a modern Puff. But that's because Armada forced people to respect him, you know?
100%, yeah. Because Puff has, I'd say, the privilege of playing this matchup with her control of the neutral. She has to know what Peach can do, but at the end of the day, like, Armada and, you know, some of the newer ages, Peaches in more modern ages, really have pioneered what has to be afraid of, right? Like, if there wasn't that general fear of, hey, a quick nair down smash or just placement of certain aerials, then Puff players could just kind of go crazy on Peaches for the most part with their back air combo game.
Yeah, completely.
Okay, high percent. Honestly, this feels a lot more like a more modern, like a more modern Peach Puff set where Puff is taking control of the neutral and Peach is capitalizing on a couple of missed opportunities. Let's see what we get for the punish here. Oh, okay, it's the up smash into turnip hit.
Definitely started charging a bit too early.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, the Puff's doing a lot better to control, but I can definitely feel, like, the mental strain on, like, this Puff trying to, like, adapt a whole new play style compared to what he was before. CCF smash. Yeah.
Just going for a raw wrestling. That's crazy.
A lack of mental fortitude.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so on the first one, he went for F smash into turnip and then tried to follow it up. On this one, it was turnip into up smash, which ended up just securing the kill. And overall, I think that works. In recent years, I think the Puff player just start Omsa Tech in the turnip, which is super annoying for Peach.
Yeah, true. Can't have nothing in this bitch of a world. Let me tell you.
Everyone's just holding down or some direction and, canceling all the combos.
Yeah. That was...
Okay. Another mess.
I have to say, that movement did look legitimately good, but I just feel like this Puff player, like, just wanted to see the numbers say...
Oh, wow, the fair.
Yeah, good full hop fair.
Yeah.
Armada was catching him a lot, like, in that range with turnips with full hop. So, like, just using the fair there instead. I've talked, like, with other people about the concept of, like, a soft no versus a hard no in Melee. Like, if you are to punish someone as brutally as possible, as soon as possible, it's more likely to stick in their head that, oh, I can't drift in there. But when you're just, like, getting hit by something annoying, like a turnip, it's much harder to, like, really reconcile with that and go, oh my god, I'm getting fucked up at the moment, you know?
Yeah, honestly, and I can relate to that super hard in a competing aspect because when I feel like I'm in a match, there are some things that I'll, like, if I'm winning super hard against my opponent, it almost feels like it encourages them to adapt a little bit more quickly. If you are able to, like, make your neutrals almost seem like they're annoying wins, so to say, then you're kind of, like, people don't adapt to annoying moves the way they adapt to when they're just getting, like, straight up owned in neutral.
Yeah.
The same way. Yeah, so it's super beneficial to kind of tailor your... I don't necessarily know if it's, like, tailor your playstyle around that specifically, but just, like, kind of be cognizant of it and go for it when you see your opponents are kind of not adapting to those specific things. Armada is the kind of player who, if he finds that you're not doing something, he will abuse the shit out of it until he gets the force stock.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that very last stock, that, right here, Armada has been doing the full hop with turnips there, especially in game one, over and over again. And then at the very end of it, he's just like, hold on. Look at the similarity between that and that,
He's looking for the jump. There's one of two things. Either the Puff goes to the ledge or the Puff jumps and tries to do, like, a descending nair on the stage. And at the end of the day, Armada's ready to call it out. If he goes to the ledge, it's not the end of the world for Armada because he can just now play off the ledge. Like, he still has the advantageous position.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a risk worth the reward.
I agree. And, it's not very... Again, like I kind of said it earlier on in the set, but in Peach Puff, the reward is very unoften going to be worth the risk, especially when you're at high percent. So knowing those situations where it is worth and capitalizing without doubting yourself, making sure you get it in those situations are super important.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have any parting thoughts that you wanted to add on, Sina?
It's interesting to see Armada this early onto his career. It's humanizing to a certain degree. I think for someone who's kind of just like getting into the game, especially playing Peach, kind of seeing this is a breath of fresh air in my eyes, or kind of a sense of reliability that, hey, like, you don't, like, even literally the best player in the world was making pretty normal mistakes in their up and coming days.
Yeah, and the simple thing is that not only that, and this is mean to say, I will admit that this is mean to say, but, like, Armada got away with a lot of shit. And
100%.
I think that if he didn't get away with all of that shit, he probably wouldn't have thought that he could be the best, and he probably wouldn't have been the best for his era.
100%. That's definitely a very large change between this generation and the past generation, as well as we get more optimal with melee. Like, for example, the one thing in game 2 where he hit that if any Puff player in game 2 hit that CC rest, and like in today's era, I feel like everyone would replicate the shit out of that. Like,
yeah,
they would go into the weeds, figure out slow motion, everything that was required to replicate that specific rest every time. But this is just another occurrence. Just, in the past, like, people aren't too familiarized with like the training optimizations and kind of replicating niche things like that, since we don't really know too much about crouch cancel at this point in time.
And not only that, only 382 people saw this.
Wow.
And there's no guarantee that all of them watched it all the way through.
Yeah. God damn.
Apparently it's called the Magnus Tech.
The Magnus Tech.
According to, this, GCLU.
Because, like, I've definitely seen, I don't remember who it was, he was either Zane or Ginger, who was doing, like, Falco, take the first hit of down smash into Shine. And that's, like, a pretty consistent thing people can do now.
Yeah.
This is just, like, the earliest application of it that I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
It's very interesting. There's a lot of things that would normally be... Okay, this is a weird analogy, but there's a lot of things that would be normally lighting up the room of a melee match in the modern era that are just flashes in the pan for the pre-modern era.
And it's like, I just think that the people may not necessarily be aware of like how technical that it is to actually hit something like that. In this case, it might have been like, oh, he got hit with 3 hits of the down smash, so it could have been him just spamming and holding directions. But at the end of the day, like, that is something that people are cognizantly and consciously looking out for in 2023, and people would go crazy if they saw that.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat on a stream match.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
cool.
Yeah. Amazing watching these old games. Thank you for joining me, Sina. I'm going to be continuing this series. If anybody is interested in being my co-commentator, Candy Cane Jane on Discord. I think that they've made the update that you just have to search for my name. Yeah. That's it. Candy Cane, one word, Jane. Thank you again, and I will see you later.